Let's talk about poverty for a minute. The fear of being poor, or the fear of poverty, is one of the 6 basic fears that all humans experience. But the thing about poverty is that it is totally a decision. Now, most of us think that our circumstances are controlling us, and we think that being poor is just part of our lot in life, and you got to have money to make money, all of those things that you hear. Well, I'm here to tell you that poverty mindset is your program. And if you decide to make an agreement with the idea that you are going to be poor, you will. You'll be poor. So the responsibility to become rich, or to make more, or to be more, or to do more, the responsibility lies entirely on you. But you can do all of that. You just simply have to make a decision that you're going to be wealthy. And that could be wealthy in relationships, that could be wealthy monetarily, that could be wealthy in a whole variety of things. You have to make a decision that that's what you're going to do, and then you have to think, you have to train your mind to think from that wealth consciousness instead of a poverty consciousness. So when I grew up with very little, single mom, small town in Wyoming. So I grew up with very little, and I basically grew up with the idea that this was my lot in life, and this is how everybody lives, that there's just not enough to go around. There aren't enough good things in life to go around. But as I grew older and I started to get out in the world a little bit more, I started to realize that that's just simply not the case. What I saw is that people who have decided that they're going to remain poor, remain poor. But there are people who come from all kinds of backgrounds, countries, everywhere, that somehow find their way out of the poorness and make it into sometimes millionaires, billionaires. Why? Because they decided to. They decided to, and they decided to look at things as if they were wealthy, and they moved toward that position in life. So here's the thing. If you think poverty, that's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to feel. That's all you're going to attract is poverty or being poor. Why? Because riches and poverty cannot occupy the same space. You cannot have a poor mindset or a poor bank account, and in the same place, you can't have riches. So you've got to get rid of the poor and replace it with a wealth consciousness. So when you're poor, you tend to hoard things, you tend to save things, you tend to keep them locked up. Oh, I've got to save for a rainy day. Oh, I've got to save for this, that, or the other. And so you create in your mind a fear of, I'm going to be poor one day. Oh my goodness. So you start to save. Well, there is a thing in the world called the law of circulation. And what that means is that things have to circulate, especially money. You must put it out there in order to receive it back. Sometimes it's called the law of giving and receiving. But the thing is that you have to give in the spirit of abundance. You have to understand. Look around in nature and see there's an abundance of leaves. There's an abundance of grains of sand out there. There's even an abundance in the number of people on this planet. There's an abundance of water out there. Those are just things in nature. Blades of grass. I mean, you could go on and on and on. This is a world full of abundance from a an unlimited source of supply. We all draw from that same unlimited source of supply. It does not depend on your circumstance. That has nothing to do with it. You can always change your circumstance based on what you decide to do and how you want to approach that. So you must make an agreement with yourself that you can achieve more, do more, get out of your current circumstance based on your mindset and your decision to make a change in your life. Listen, it doesn't take money to make money. It takes a decision and a spirit of abundance. So if you've got a decision in your life where you need to decide, am I going to take this risk? Am I going to step out a little bit? Can I do this next thing? I'm telling you from experience, do it. Don't be irrational about it, but do it. Step out, take that risk a little bit. You are drawing from an infinite source of supply. If you put it out there, if you put it into circulation, whether it's money or attitude, draw from that infinite source of supply with a spirit of abundance, knowing that what's going out there is going to come back to you so much more, so much more. But it will never come back to you if you don't put it out there. If you hoard money, if you hold it in, it becomes worthless. It must be put into circulation. Take the risk, make an agreement with the idea to be wealthy instead of simply agreeing with the idea that you're going to be poor forever. You don't have to be. There are stories everywhere of abundance. Just step out your front door and look. You'll see it. Take the risk. It's worth it.